Okay, it's going.
It's my favorite part. That bow, bow, bow.
Yeah. What's up, nerds? Oh my goodness gracious. We are coming live from the city planet of Trantor, and I have a very special guest with me today. He is the Braxis to my Prime Radiant. He is the Harry to my Selden. He is the mechanical electronic robot features to my Demrazell eternal living soul. It is the Jedi Master Grayson of the Drunk Banthas. How you doing today, man?
Oh man, I'm doing delightful, man. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. I'm glad that we're reporting from Trantor and not Terminus today, because that's
Oh yeah,
that locale is it's excommunicado.
excommunicado. So we call Terminus. Just send the word out. Terminus is excommunicado. Jeez, dude, they did that.
That was
They
so
really
wild.
did that. Oh
I
my
was,
gosh!
it's funny because like this show I guess does do some stuff like this every once in a while with like the space elevator and then just like the retaliation to the space elevator. But it's been a while since we've seen like a death toll this large before.
Dude, I mean, it's off the charts. It's scary. It doesn't make sense. And we're definitely going to be getting into that. First, I do want to let everybody know we will be continuing, next week, final season, and then we'll be moving live streams over and a lot of live content from Nine Nerd Yards to a new channel called Nerds at Night. I'll be
Yeah.
posting the link into that the description below later, so you guys can check out that channel. It's just getting started, but we would definitely appreciate the follow and subscriber count to just come up a little bit. And yeah, but this episode, it is called Long Ago, Not Far Away. And we were making a lot of Star Wars jokes last episode because that was called The Last Empress.
Yeah.
And so I feel like there's a little bit of a trend going on, right?
Yeah,
Right?
for
There's a little
sure.
bit of Star Wars influence on these titles, I feel.
Yeah. Or either that, or do you think, like, when I was actually saw the title when we were texting about it, I was thinking, I was like, are they trying to like flex on Star Wars? Just be like, hey, technically y'all did it first, but like we did it first,
Right? Yeah. This is our game, right?
Yeah.
That probably is the thing too. Let me see here, and I was just going to. Um, can you give us just like a brief synopsis of like
Ye-
last episode, just very brief of like what happened last episode, if you remember?
yes, gladly. Well, yeah, and toward the end of the last episode, it started to like culminate around day, dusk, and dawn, and what they're all doing at these times. Day is on his way out to to confront Terminus with Demerzel, and Dusk and his homegirl. I forget what her name is, but she's Queen Sarah's handmaiden or advisor. They find a secret door that leads to a prison, as someone else calls it. But yeah, they find a secret room that holds a cell and a hologram of Cleon the First. He appears before them and tells them that this was once a prison, and then he starts to tell a tale that I guess we don't really get the beginning of until the beginning of this episode.
Exactly. Yeah.
But they kind of hint toward. Well, I was just gonna say, yeah, they kind of just hint toward Demerzel being like the real one in control.
She is the last empress.
Yeah, which I don't know. I still feel like she's got the raw end of the stick with this. I don't feel like she has as much power as there.
There was. I mean, well, I mean, this episode illuminates us on a bit of like what would be her situation. So she is, she does have control. She definitely is the one that's pulling the strings here, but she is also trapped, which I think is a very interesting concept.
It really is. It's so weird. Even in the flashback, just retelling of Demerzel and Cleon's origin story, which I thought was just like a great way of explaining all that, where she came from, how Cleon found her. But even when he gives her, like, puts the chip in her, so that basically, it disables the 3 rules of robotics, or the 3 laws of robotics, but it introduces a new rule that she's only to serve Empire and she can't harm him. And she says this isn't freedom, and he's like, she says this isn't total freedom. He's like, I mean, nobody has that. Which I thought was an interesting way of putting that.
And I think he specifically says not just nobody has that, as like all great ruler, like not great rulers don't get that liberty, liberty or that type of freedom, which is interesting, because it's our first real look at Cleon the First, right? And I guess I don't know if I was expecting something different, but I was kind of like, I found it strange that he seemed very much the same as the Day, almost, like, or like how all of his characterizations for Dawn, Day, and Dusk all really matched up with their alignment in the show. And I was thinking he would be a bit more like regal or confident or steadfast in his actions, whereas because we know that he's like built up so much other life experience, but he seemed just as lost and kind of like needed guidance as all of the other Genetic Dynasty.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that maybe it's interesting the way that they showed it, because it seems like maybe he does have a little bit of an arrested development, because he does discover Demerzel at a very young age, and that's like his like secret. That's his confidant, is his only friend, to the point where it's kind of a detriment to his other relationships. Like I don't feel like he fully embraces the grieving his mother's death, and he calls off the wedding of his betrothed or whoever. We never even see her, but it's all because of his attachment to Demerzel, which I think that attachment maybe helped him or hindered him from growing emotionally.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just want to talk about the because this episode starts with a fairy tale, right? Or like or just a retelling that story, and which I thought was great. Again, a show that does not waste your time. It knows what pieces to put in there. Like they could have like dragged this out to the season finale, right? I'm actually, let me actually say this. I'm actually surprised that this wasn't the season finale. I was like, this has very strong season finale, baby. Like, if they stopped it there, I probably would have been pissed, like, oh my god, like, But at the same time, that was a season finale event. When we get to it at the end.
Yeah, that was a finale type, like, sting at the even with like what happens with Dusk and his homegirl. Like it does have that cool cliffhangery vibe. I'm so glad we're getting another episode, but other
another episode.
Right. It's like, oh, thank you so much. But this definitely could have been the end of the season, and I would have been satisfied.
Would have definitely been satisfied. But yeah, the episodes does start with the young Cleon. It's the story of how he met Demerzel when he was just a young boy. He's going around the palace, like, I guess, touching everything with his dirty, grimy ass hands, little kid's naughty ass. Custom hands that he's got.
Which is the first time a kid has happened upon this secret. Like he didn't even have a special sand or nothing. Like he just poked it open.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess there's no other kids there.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. So he's really, that's all he can do is of his snotty nose fingers on his
Just
all the
rubbing
stuff.
boogers on the wall and shit.
Right. But yeah, he's got that nice gold chain. He's swagged out or whatever.
Yeah,
He
got some drip.
but he happens down there and he sees this uh not even dissected what would you call this framing,
Yeah, just like fragmented. Yeah, like
fragmented pieces.
I thought it was a really interesting way to
uh
show this, I guess, form of entrapment.
yeah.
Because like I would have never like I will in my mind, I like when they showed her, I was like, oh, she's probably just like in a tube and like in
Mm-hmm.
a cell. But no, this
Mm-hmm.
is very creative.
Yeah, yeah, it was very interesting. And let me see if I can just play a little bit of that, where it just kind of shows all of the fragments. Yeah, this right here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces.
Insane.
And I'll like I thought it was kind of funny because it's not like it's only the I guess this is where her data processing
Yeah.
is or whatever. These pieces can't connect because there's a lot of like front half and a lot of back half there. You
Right.
see that little little booty right there.
Yeah. A little
It's like,
tush sticking
wow,
out the
okay.
back.
A little tush, yeah. I thought this was so interesting. If I can. But she is, I think, telling
And the
him.
small ones in very small spaces, with their knees folded up to their ears.
The segmented woman in the hidden.
Yeah, and he's she's so they gain a kinship from like telling stories for each other. She is, I think, at this time like 18,000 years old or something like
Yeah.
that. So she has a lot of stories to tell him, but she is still at this time holding off of the fact of like, you know, why she was placed in there. Let's see here. Okay. This is what I think is kind of interesting.
Who's Demerzel anyway?
It's a woman's name. That is how I appear now. An old name, but not my first.
So I think what they are getting at there is that Demerzel, I don't know why I keep on doing that. Demerzel could have also been like originally a male or like designed as a male. Is that what they're kind of saying there? Is like, it's...
Yeah, I think so. Or even beyond that, like, because I was thinking about what she was saying earlier about like some of the machines were small, some of them were large, and later what Dusk says about like, oh, this is also going to keep you from like transferring to another like thing. So it's like, maybe I don't know, maybe she was like a really special toaster before, like actually maybe she's like who knows what's how many entities she's like gone through before she, you know, reached this human state. So
And now that you say that, it's drawing parallels to what the Gal Pals are doing on Ignis, because we know that Tellum is someone that is transferring herself to different vessels too. So it's a little bit of a dichotomy there of both of these insanely powerful women just like being able to pass down or live forever. In
Hashtag strong women.
Hashtag strong evil bitches. Love them. Not good enough. Now let's see here, and I'm trying to label this section. What do we call that? Fairy tale or something?
Yeah, or Demerzel fairy tale.
Yeah, or a flashback, whatever.
I will say one part that I really loved in all this flashback is, I guess, like toward the end of the flashback when she Dusk opens up the vault or the cell, and in the voiceover, Cleon is like, at that moment she could have killed him. Like that was her only moment in 18,000 years where she, or 5,000 years where she actually had freedom. And her decision not to like act on that freedom for whatever reason. Maybe she just didn't want to be cruel. Maybe she thought that he wasn't going to be cruel. But yeah, she lost her opportunity of freedom in that moment. I thought that was super
You
sad.
just had that brief moment.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, who knows? It's kind of interesting to know like how far she would get, or what would happen if she was able to get free, or it's very
Right. Yeah.
interesting.
Because who knows? Yeah, she could step right out the door and then it's like,
Mhm.
hey, you killed Empire, so
Mhm.
you're a robot. Hey, yeah.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
like it's probably not gonna go well for her if she had just
Mhm.
killed him. But yeah.
And I'm just seeing this scene here because this is the episode title. Long ago, not far away. So in the long ago,
Oh, yeah.
but not far away, I was a leader of soldiers. So this does imply that she was a top dog in whatever android rebellion that was going on. Which brings even like more interesting credence to the skill set that Roselle has
Right.
and what she is capable of. Because not only is she an android, she's the leader of a specific group of androids. And I'm not sure if they've said specifically. Well, let's see here.
But not far away. I was a leader of soldiers. After we lost a famous battle, I was taken captive and brought before Emperor Brainus.
So she was taken captive, but like not really clear why she is the like only one left, right?
Right. Yeah.
Or why they kept her around.
Yeah. It was they kind of get into the like why I guess he kept her around, but not why they initially didn't kill her and wanted to keep her captive. Because it seemed
Right.
like the reason the Emperor Brainus or whatever wanted to keep her around is just because he was a sick fuck. He liked to torture. It's like I want to torture someone, but I don't want it to be like a real person.
Right.
So that was crazy. But yeah, it does like make you wonder like how important she was. What was the famous battle that she's talking about? Was it the battle that ended the war? You know, there's still a lot of questions about her past.
Yeah, absolutely.
But also sorry, just real quick, do you to that point, why do you think that she didn't, because she is a leader of soldiers and she's one of the people who fought actively against humans, why do you think that she didn't kill Cleon in that moment?
That is actually a good question, because I think after a lifetime, that's because what is Cleon's life compared to what she's already lived? So like, how did it have that much effect on her? But I guess she may have gotten that much amount of empathy,
Right. Yeah.
Like that, like for that moment, that's how much of his lifetime built up.
Right.
Of like trust and empathy towards humans, and just to him. And he did eventually provide the freedom to her, or free her. So like just for that moment, and then it immediately sours.
Yeah. That makes sense. That's kind of the same way I feel. Yeah.
Okay, I think here I only watched episode 1, and I didn't take notes, so sorry guys. I'll take notes on the finale, but I'm just recognizing here that's where he answers the question.
I am rare, perhaps unique. The key to making more of my kind, Cleon.
Okay, so that's it right there. So
right.
He is the key to be making more androids, should they choose to in the future.
Right.
And now that I'm seeing it, okay. All right. And now that I'm taking a pretty good look at this too, this is literally the exact thing that is on the mural on the chroma key, right? Like that's basically how that looks like.
Yeah, it looks like
So that is why. All right. Okay.
Huh.
All right.
Man, this show's good.
that is actually really fantastic that I'm seeing that. So Okay, that's great. Actually, that's fantastic. Oh, I did want to see this. Hope that doesn't like YouTube can't take me down for. That's not even booby, really, right?
Yeah.
I thought this was interesting. I really just want to have one stream of the show that I do not get copyright claimed. So I'm gonna try really hard. Okay. But anyway, so she is able to be reattached, but he doesn't actually let her go. And this will be kind of like foreshadowed, I guess. I mean, this is becomes relevant later after these like blue beams, which I'm not sure like how they work because it looks like he was able to just like stick through that. I feel like she would be dexterous enough to like just kind of like
Yeah,
you know
she can limbo out of that or something,
right? Yeah, just spider her way out of there,
right? Or do like a Rey Mysterio dive through the ropes,
right? Yeah, feet first. Yeah. So she's trapped, and then he appears as an old man with a very interesting tool set.
which I think this is the same tool set that she has in her like at her vanity mirror where she's like that she fixed herself, because I think it has that same solar system design on the outside of the box.
Right. You're absolutely right. Yep. So yeah, and every time I think that she has been injured before, we have seen her like actually repairing her fragments.
Yeah.
So that must be the repair kit for her.
A gift.
And then this is what you were bringing up, which I thought was very interesting development
Free.
here.
A moment in 5,000 years. Time enough to break his neck.
Wait, what? That's okay. That's your moment.
Yeah.
You got one shot.
It's also
so.
She clearly didn't listen to Eminem.
Right.
Yeah, it was so messed up. And even like the later after he puts the thing in and says, do you ask to love me? I mean, do you promise to love me or whatever? And she, folds her hands like we all know her for folding her hands now, and she says, "Yeah, I will." And didn't he say like, "I wish I had asked you that before"?
He was like, "Oh fuck, I should have asked." He's like, "Damn it!"
Like, yeah, dummy. You mean asshole.
And with that choice, she lost everything. This
will allow me to allow you to walk freely. And I thought that was a very interesting way of putting it.
Allow you to walk freely. I seem to recall you used to be bound by laws.
And then they do a little test. She is not able to hurt him.
No.
The first thing he says is like, "Kiss me."
Right.
I'm like, creepazoid.
Yeah, very, very creepy. But I thought that was very strange. Well, not strange, but just I guess telling. Is that she kisses him, but she's not as equally like confused as when he asked her to harm him, and she can't.
It seemed like she did generate love. In what we have known from Demerzel, she is like religious to a point from like last season.
Right. She has thoughts and feelings.
And it seems to go more than just mimicking thoughts and feelings too. It seems like she actually has them and has a belief system in her. And I kind of wonder if that also is what she meant by not only is she unique because she's the key of making you more androids, but she's also unique because she has a sense of humanity,
right?
Spiritual consciousness.
Yeah, because Homegirl in season 1 did like the black woman that she ends up killing or poisoning.
Right.
Even she's kind of astounded by the humanity of Demerzel. Like I'm sure she had to read about robots in school and stuff like that, so she knows what robots are supposed to be like. So maybe you're right. She is like that much more unique in the sense that she has these feelings and beliefs.
And just a side tangent here too. What do you think happened to those people? I thought we would maybe get more of that religious place. This season.
In retrospect, yeah, it does. It's weird. It does feel like that was sort of a sort of a side questy story of just like a character development moment for Demerzel and Day. Like we just see how empty he is and how much more humanity that Demerzel has. Because it doesn't, that whole thing didn't really connect with anything else plot wise.
Right. Let's see here.
So maybe we will come back to them, like as and I'm sure the whole galaxy is going to have a reaction to what just happened. So
yeah, absolutely. This may be the push. Also that other religion, it was almost implied that maybe he was going to try to snuff them out anyway. That was kind of like the first thing. Like he needed to gain their trust, kill one of their higher leaders, and then can slowly just kind of make them wither away, or have the religion die out.
Especially since they just like saw him as their Tom Cruise or whatever after he went there.
Wow, he's really willing to die for these movies. I think this dude. Let's see here.
Go on.
Yeah, because what's happening is that he made it so she cannot hurt him, but she does have the ability to hurt other people.
Right. Which is another very telling thing about him, because he's like, oh, I'm definitely going to want you to kill somebody at some point.
Right. Yeah. We're going to need the rule. We're going to need that strength of yours. But yeah, she's like, this is not freedom, which is right. And I also thought from this was interesting is that he is actually the one that does come up with the Genetic Dynasty. I thought we were going to it was going to be her idea.
Right. Yeah. That was an interesting turn that it was his idea. And it's kind of like, it's all culminates in just like Cleon just does midlife crisis different than everybody else.
Right.
You start seeing his mortality. I was like, okay, I need to live forever and I need a mate that's going to live forever. So how can we make that happen?
Yeah.
And I feel like in that moment where he reassembles her is the first time where he starts contemplating like his mortality and like, how can I make this work? I'm just like, I know I can't make this work right now. But one day,
one day for sure,
we'll figure it out.
We're going to figure that out. Yeah. Let's see here. You'll preserve the dynasty. And she's like realizing that she is trapped.
And through them rule the Imperium.
What if I leave?
I want to see the moment where... Oh, right here.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Roselle is born. And I wonder what that quirk is though.
Yeah. Now I'm
it makes your stomach sick too.
Yeah.
She's literally fighting against her compulsion to say that, or is it
Yeah, that's what I thought after I saw that too. Is maybe this is a physical tick of just this is her biting her tongue in a sense, or which makes every scene that I've seen her in now just oh yeah, you're trapped. So of course you would just be
fighting back rage and anger.
Such a wonderful actress. Like I know she's not gonna get nominated for anything, but she deserves like all the fucking awards for her performance this season.
I mean, probably not anything big, but I can imagine that I'm pretty sure there's like a I think there's like an Asimov award in science fiction.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Let me not step on her blessings. You know, I'll let
Yeah,
her.
or maybe it's the I don't know, one of those science fiction guys has like
Yeah.
an award named after
The
him.
L. Ron Hubbard Award. Yeah.
Right. But yeah, he says this.
How I wish I'd asked you before I made it compulsory.
He's like, oh fuck. She's like, yeah, and right there on her face is like, oh yeah, would I have said yes?
Yeah.
And if I said yes,
yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, like,
they're both kind of emotionally trapped in that moment, or just like emotionally confused. Like fuck, like they're both have like a fuck. How do I feel moment? Yeah.
Let's see here. I'm just gonna find that next clip. Story time is over. Actually, I'll just add this. I'll just keep this into story time too.
Is this where the dum dums get
hanging out? Man, y'all didn't see that coming. Y'all did not see that coming. How are you?
Just never hang out in a prison cell. Just don't.
Yeah. Just be serious.
Stories end gracefully. Everything else ends in shock and horror, falsely certain of tomorrow.
Yeah. And he's like, so Cleon is still a dick. He's just giving them the full story, right? But I was trying to figure out what was going on between like why up top he's not willing to give any answers, but if he finds this place, he's still a douchebag, but he's giving the answers.
Right.
And I was like, wait, so is this a cell for just Cleon's consciousness? It's like true consciousness that's not not unhindered from and if so, why is he he seems still pleased with himself down there. So
yeah, he's definitely being more candid in this version of himself. I'm not sure if he just feels like he has all the cards. He's like, hey man, you're in my cell, like I can tell you anything I want to right now, you ain't leaving. But or if it's just like, yeah, this is like the different Harrys, this one's a little bit, this projection is a little bit different than the
Experiment is through. With Day and Sarah's union, what Demerzel was forced to protect won't exist anymore. You think so?
Idiots. Dummies. Your old asses can't get Brainus out of there. Like, you don't stand a chance anymore. His belly won't even fit through.
Right. I felt like so sad when that happened. I was like, man, this is a terrible way for their story to end. But maybe not. Maybe it's not gonna happen because of later stuff. But
and I'll call this one because I mean this is probably a scene that we just knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Like at the end of like last episode, I was like, oh, we know that.
Yeah.
It's not going to go through.
All the stuff. Sorry, what were you about to say?
Oh, I was just going to name this one. Salvor saves Gale. Okay, sure.
Yeah, I was I like this storyline. This is one of the few times where the Salvor Gale story was the least interesting part for me. Not to say it wasn't interesting, but I was just like, every time they go back to them, we're like, all right, that's cool, but like what's going to happen to Terminus? What's going to happen to the Invictus?
Right, because they're doing the crisis event. Yeah,
right. And this felt like this played out pretty much how I expected it to. Salvor saves Gale. They defeat Tellum.
Yeah.
The shit that happened at the end, though,
the Bluetooth link. Yeah, we'll get to that.
The Bluetooth link. Yeah.
And we catch back up with with my favorite couple here.
Yeah. Cuties.
And just very cute. Like just adding just a little bit of humor in this very tense episode.
Yeah.
If you had to compare.
Prison cells? Oh, this is much nicer than the palace.
I don't believe it looked way nicer at the palace prison.
Really nice. Yeah.
So much space to walk around and shit.
Well, I mean, she also did get like black fucking masked or whatever. So
that's a good point. They
that'll
probably
be a
treat her
very
better
unpleasant experience.
Yeah.
Very, very unpleasant. And I was like, okay, so this is how they're going to get through this crisis. He's got something up his sleeve, right? And he has the castling device. So I was like, oh, that's going to come into play somehow, right? No, they're just this whole goddamn episode is just them like making you think like, okay, how are they going to do it? Like,
right.
You know, I got hope that we're going to get through this.
Yeah, like you keep thinking, yeah.
Things, yeah. Or then I was just like, oh, I saw the spacer,
the marking
light or whatever.
Yeah. Or, the actual spacer.
Yeah, she bends light. Sitting there, I was like, oh, okay, so that's how they're going to save the day. Like the Razors are going to do something. Nah.
Yo, it was so they're like to your point. Yeah, there's so many moments where they would like, I don't want to say trick you, but they make you feel like, oh, okay, how are they gonna get out of this? How are they gonna get out of this? Yeah. Spoilers, they're not.
Yeah, spoilers, they are not. It's going to be pretty rough, actually.
I did like just in that moment that Hober just slips out that he loves Constance, which I thought that was really cute.
When did he say that?
Because he was like, yeah, in this scene, homeboy Bel Rios was like, why did you like save her? Like, is it love? And he was like, oh yeah, absolutely. And then Constance was like, wait, what the fuck? Did you just say you love me? Yeah. Oh wait, no. It's a little bit... Yeah. Okay, that's right. Yeah.
Suddenly adopt a fatal fringe ideology. Is it love?
Absolutely. But also, maybe I'm finally buying into Satan's bullshit.
Yeah, they're just like, nah, man, this is a hookup. Ooh, this was just a hookup.
It's like we didn't really talk about that, but
I said I love you. You kind of give me the ick. Constance is also just like,
it's like, so I think we need some space.
But yeah, and she's like, oh, maybe we lured you out here.
Work around the second crisis. Maybe we win the war the way we won all those planets. Bloodlessly.
Another moment where you feel like, oh yeah, he's gonna make the right decision when the time
comes. Bro, I'm saying to the very end.
The very end.
I was like, okay, that's how they're gonna say it. I was like, no, it is done. It's hopeless. You guys are fucked. And the Invictus, that's what the ship that they went from Trantor to Terminus, that like decades-long trip there. To Terminus was taken in the Invictus, and they're saying, let's see here.
Emperor Tyrillian ship. Look what they've done to
the Invictus, that was the ghost ship, right? That was
is Invictus the ghost? Oh, okay, so that's right. Yeah, because the Invictus is able to jump.
And they like repurposed it so they don't need the spacers or whatever technology they had before.
Right.
To jump.
And they had some nice little doohickeys added to it, so it's war ready.
Yeah. This hurt my stomach. all the Invictus stuff, because I mean we'll get to it a little later, but yeah, it just hurt my soul.
I thought this was very interesting. I will go down to the planet myself to accept their surrender, right?
Yeah.
And
Surrender.
That is not advisable.
She's right, Empire. This is a delicate
General
matter.
Rios, you once took pleasure in reminding me that I had never seen battle. Let's make a virtue of it. I will be the Cleon who chose peace.
very interesting. I was like, what? What the fuck is going on here? And I
Yeah.
love that the show knows, like the writers know that, like we'll be like, the fuck is going on with this dude, right? Because
Right.
like the very next thing that Rio says after that, pull that up.
Oh, yeah.
Because he right when Cleon leaves, he's like,
Roselle, I'm saying all the right things. Does it make you as nervous as it makes me?
like, he's saying exactly what I was thinking. I was like, dude, this is not good.
Yeah. I was like, this
The
isn't
way
gonna
that
end
he's
well.
vibing and like
Yeah.
saying all this good stuff is literally the worst thing ever.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And then Demerzel's face there.
I advise him. It is not my place to question. I will perform my function, General, and I expect you to perform yours.
She looks boss here.
I chose you for a
yeah.
reason.
She always got the fly shit on now.
Yeah, she just looks boss, regal as fuck.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's like, oh, let's go to your church. Just down there. But yeah, I just thought it was just really good writing. Like the show just really seems to understand its audience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it feels like this season was just kind of like fine-tuned for me, you know. Like,
No, I know
really
exactly what you mean.
how-
Yeah, like the first season, I was like, I really, really dig this. There's something there that I just really, really love. And this season is like everything. you know, it's like every scene they just like they're moving without a clip. It's
I
really
think I think last season for me was they are like all the concept is really great for me.
Mhm.
But this season I was like the concept and the story and then the characters especially is what I'm getting such a great appreciation for.
Yeah.
I love them. Really do appreciate those guys.
Yeah. Like Polly, sorry, you were just mentioning they were going to the church. I feel like Polly had a really strong moment in that scene, just like acting wise, having to go from being terrified because like Empire is like, oh yeah, show me how you like convert these hayseed. I love that they still don't say the word hayseed. These hayseed, Hicks from these other planets,
right?
And he goes from just like being scared and just doing it because he's being told to do it to actually like feeling himself because the congregation is like vibing with him too. And it all reminds me, like when I first heard about Scientology, like when I was a kid, I thought that it was this. Like I thought it was a religion based on science.
Right. Yeah. Oh no.
I was like, oh, that's cool. Then I looked into it. I was like, oh no, that's not what it is at all.
That doesn't seem like science. Yeah.
So it's just funny to see like them being like, it's like, oh, this is a church. This is an armory, and your religion is a cult. So I just thought it was interesting how he sees them as a cult, mainly because he sees his own hubris being threatened.
Okay. Church time.
Church time.
Church. 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 Now. And I thought it was interesting because this is the first time it's been brought up like all season. It's the Encyclopedia Galactica.
Yeah.
Like, he was just like, so where's the Encyclopedia Galactica? And I was just like, wait, what is that?
Wait, what's
I was
that?
like, oh yeah, that's the thing that they were supposed to be doing this whole time. I was like, you didn't just have like one person just kind of like bullshitting something together.
I completely forgot about that too.
It's like, oh yeah, they were making a thing or I don't know, data center out here. He just walks into the church and they're just making bombs and shit. Like, what the fuck is all this?
supposed to be working on that.
Yeah. So yeah. Oh shit, the project's due tomorrow, isn't it? Oh god damn it. Anyone got any Adderall? I gotta bang out an Encyclopedia Galactica for my term paper this year. When was it assigned? 150 years ago. When was it due? Tomorrow.
Like, man, you need to work on your time management skills.
Right. Yeah, that's like me when I'm working on a video. I'm like, I'll get it done next week. I'll get it done next week.
Right.
I just had a video come out. They clone Tyrone out right now. And yeah, like I recorded all that audio and wrote that script over a month ago.
Oh shit.
I was just like, I don't want to fucking edit this thing, dude. Like I talk too much for real. Like, come on.
So
I finally got to it and it got blocked. So like for the last like 4 days it was blocked and then it finally I disputed it. So it's in dispute right now. So yeah, so it's out to Netflix decision to see if it's fair use, which is bullshit, by the way.
Yeah, that's so dumb.
Because it definitely is fair use. And so yeah, if you guys are watching, by the way, yeah, I see you guys are watching right now. Go watch that They Clone Tyrone video after this. Also leave a like, leave a comment. I don't know why all y'all be watching but not leaving a goddamn comment or whatever. But yeah, say what's up in the chat. Let us know that you're here. And go watch that They Clone Tyrone video afterwards because I worked harder on it than they did the Encyclopedia Galactica.
Yeah, it's honestly really great, guys. Y'all should check it out.
But yeah, and also it might be taken down pretty soon here if Netflix says
get it while you can. No, but that's seriously fucked up.
Yeah. Why does Netflix get to decide if it's fair use? Like it should be like third party somewhere on that YouTube that's like, oh yeah, this falls in the line of
that doesn't make sense for them. It's like NFL doing their own investigations and shit. It's like, all right, well, which side is the investigation going to land?
Right. And I really thought this was great because Polly is struggling to do this.
Yeah,
I have iron.
And then
I have iron.
But then someone steps up and Constance's dad, one of Constance's dads, steps up and is just like, "Oh no, I'm gonna help this guy out. I'm gonna make sure."
Yeah.
Remember, Harry Seldon.
And then everyone else
there is no end to what the spirit can do.
There is no end to what the spirit can do.
It's good stuff, bro.
Yeah.
And here and then he starts getting in his bag a bit.
One
still
day.
like I still can tell that he's like scared though, right? But like he's just enough confidence, right?
Yeah.
And you can see how Day is starting to not like starting to believe, but like his annoyance with their belief is so it's infuriating to him. It sickens him.
Yeah, at the very least, he's growing more and more uncomfortable. The more Polly gets comfortable in his like in his rhetoric.
And let's see here.
I have seen ships with their own minds crossing light years in the space of a breath. Holy food to cure any ailment.
So he pulls out the iron that was now gold bar.
Then Day kicks him in the booty.
Yeah, Day's just like, oh, this is just fucking alchemy, man. He's just like, no, it's energy, bro. Like, you know, whatever. And
it's like our religion is science.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Demerzel's feeling that.
Yeah. He's like, I see you with me, sister. I see you got the Holy Ghost. The hairy ghost or whatever.
Yeah, but yeah, and he's just like, dude,
Oh yeah, he sees that.
Personal auras. And what he says here, I think it was just like a really good gotcha moment right here.
Oh, there's no sound. Can you hear that?
Oh shit! Sorry.
No, I was like,
But yeah, no,
But
they give them away.
you guys can read.
Yeah, you guys know that. I have the subtitles on. But yeah, he gives them away.
Yeah, I thought that was really, really cool. And it pisses him off so
And
bad.
that's what he's just like, okay.
Signal General Rios. Tell him there's Imperial property in orbit and he is to commandeer the Invictus within the hour. We are taking the planet!
You said you were here to negotiate terms. We must...
These are my terms. This is not a war.
Like, this is a takeover, bro. This is
Right.
these are my terms. And so the Invictus. So this that what you were talking about? The people on the Invictus. This was just getting you like kind of worried, or
Yeah, well, no, it just made me sick to my stomach, the whole Invictus thing, because we talked a little bit about it on one of the other episodes. I love the idea of the Invictus. It's so cool, just like this spaceship that's like a ghost ship.
Yeah,
and
it is.
they managed to tame it in a way.
Yeah.
Like they just like go through all this shit to tame it, and then advance the technology to where it's the technology is even more advanced than like what they have now, and then it just gets fucked. And then like the crew is just so sad afterwards, like that, like the woman and the dude who were just talking is like, hey, it's my first fight, maybe we'll make it through this. Oh, I forgot this isn't Star Wars, so yeah, we're gonna die horribly.
We don't make it through. Oh gosh.
And I was watching, I guess, are we about to like get into like the Invictus of it all, or is it we're still a little bit away from that? I guess we're still a little bit away from that.
I guess we could go into that, because honestly, the Gal Pals don't even really want to touch on that much.
Right.
Let's see here. Actually, so let's just do this. We'll just do the Gal Pals right now, all of what they go through. And then we'll just return back to the final battle.
Okay. Because not a lot happens with them.
Yeah, and it kind of annoys me here. Pals. When? Okay, whatever. Now, what's going on with them is that they break away from Tellum or whatever, right? And then they're on the run to the what's her ship called again? The
Beggar.
The Beggar, yeah. And Tellum is in there waiting for Gale. Salvor is walking the perimeter where she encounters that one shapeshifting dude.
Yeah. Keeps getting tricked by the same trick.
Right. That's what I was going to talk about.
Oh, okay.
First, let's talk. So Tellum is manipulating Gale's mind and bringing her, like, completely manipulating her memories and her feelings. So it's almost like impossible for her not to feel something while looking at her fake body, even though she knows, right?
Right.
She knows what's going on, but like, if she has full control of her mind, she can still make you feel emotions and despair, and like reach in and grab those insecurities and thoughts and bring them to the forefront, even if you know, which I thought was like very interesting, because it's not like the simple like what Salvor is facing, like it's just an illusion where, you know, like it's just an illusion. Then it's like, oh, I'm not feeling shit,
right?
Like I don't. But if it's like a mind thing where it's like bringing out this sense of like trauma and despair, then that's going to be harder to deal with.
Right.
That's going to be a lot harder to, even if you know that it's fake.
Yeah, even at some point she says, like, I know that you're not here. And the illusion of her dad doesn't even, is like, I mean, illusions can still tell the truth. like about how guilty you are. Yo, guilty bitch. He didn't
Yeah.
say that.
You piece of shit. You're a bad daughter. But yeah, but like it's not just her saying that; it's actually making her feel those things
Yeah.
too. So I thought that was very interesting, and how Gale gets a little bit of a respite there is that she enters the thing. She enters the memory of the future that she had,
Right.
and
Which is
and
crazy to even think
the
about.
mule can see Tellum and Gale, which I was like, what the fuck? Like, that power is insane.
It's ridiculous. Like how it could even how do you know that that's how? I'm
Yeah.
so interested to see this mole or mule character, and
That is
like,
insane.
and she was shook.
Don't you? You shouldn't have taken us here. You're afraid of death? This is death. Look.
Who is that? That's the first time I got like a good look at him. That is not Hober Mallow.
No, it doesn't look like him. Unless it's supposed to be like, him in 50, 60 years or something like that, and he's just like looks very different. Or they just recast. It's like
right.
But yeah, but what were you gonna say about this Salvor?
Now, juxtaposing that with, because now this is just an illusion. So I'm like, they did it too many times.
Yeah.
Where they just are like, so? So? And I'm like, come on, Sally, like, you know that's not it. Even though I feel like the first one. Like,
yeah, like
it happens 10 times, I feel like. So like, stop falling for that shit. It was so annoying.
Yeah, it would have been more interesting if like he was him, like, guess the whole time, and then she's just like wrestling with that emotionality the whole fight. But the idea that she is getting like, oh, is that you? Like every time.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell is going on? And I don't know if it's like also the same thing that is happening with her, if he has like a little bit of that power where it's not just an illusion, but also can make her feel an emotion.
Right.
But since they haven't explained it, then I'm going to just say it's just an illusion. And that is kind of whack that she fell for that. So many goddamn. Like, it is ridiculous. And before I go there,
yeah, when I was watching it with my brother, and he when she trapped him in the airlock and he turned back into the dude, and he's like, if this bitch opens this airlock, I know something. She's like, oh, it's you. Like, opens
yeah, and I'm gonna jump to that part here because she gets him in a trap.
Beggar, vent all oxygen from the air.
Yeah, and that's just so.
I love you.
Vent all oxygen from there. Like, that's a boss dog way of dying though. Like, that was a trap.
Yeah, it's rough. I did. That is the only moment where it kind of worked for me, where him switching, because I was like, even if you know that's not your love, just having the physical represent, like seeing the love of your life, die in front of your eyes.
They only should have done it once during like the fight, and then right then at the end.
Right.
That's the only way that they should have done it, instead of like the 5 times in between. I was like,
yeah,
we get it. Yeah, you can have that power, but when is Salvor going to get it? Because at a certain point, like,
right? Because the fight scene was cool. I like the fight. Like,
it was good choreography. Yeah, really great. And then this is when I was like, what the fuck is going on? What is this? So I was like, whoa, it's
poor illusion.
That's exactly what I was like. Okay, She figured it out. It's an illusion. That shit ain't gonna shake her. And but then I was like, okay, Salvor's about to like then grab her or whatever,
Right.
or grab the knife or something. But nope. And this gets violent, folks.
Yeah.
This gets very violent. They're like,
yeah, they had to
fuck,
move. It's like, you gonna get some on my shoes?
They were like, look at her face. She's like, yeah, she did.
Oh fuck. Yeah, that got intense. I have no fucking clue how this nigga's still alive.
I never liked her. I can't even show, like, they do like a really quick shot of like the mess that he made,
Right.
and it is gross. It is,
yeah.
Like, he really just pulverized her. It was disgusting. But yeah, theories about what's going on here.
So I think that this is still the same body of the Harry that we saw before, because he looks all dirty and shit.
Yeah.
So I think that he's still that same Harry. I don't think this is a new body. Maybe he got some sort of like immortality powers, like when he got his new shiny body, or some sort of resurrection powers. But as of now, I don't know what the fuck is going on. Like,
right.
I'm very interested to see what it is, but yeah, because I'm sure the explanation is gonna be dope knowing the show. But yeah, I don't know what the fuck.
Yeah, I have no idea what's going on. Yeah, I mean, and I guess that's like it's definitely going to be answered in the finale of the next episode, but it's got to have something to do on Una's world, whatever, and Kaye or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like the representation of her is played by his wife, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
late wife, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is interesting. So we'll probably get some details about that, because I'm just really wondering, like, what next episode is even going to be. I think it said it's going to be an hour long too, and I'm like, fucking hype. I love it, but I'm like, dude, we just had. It's going to be slow.
Yeah,
it's going to be a lot of talky, and
yeah.
I can't wait because I love the talky.
Mm-hmm.
But like that was
yeah. It kind of reminds me of the Red Wedding in Game of Thrones, because it's easy to forget that the Red Wedding was the penultimate episode of that season, and then they had
a lot of Game of Thrones. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, a lot of Game of Thrones seasons, and the penultimate is usually where the fucking crazy thing happens, and then the little denouement at the end.
Right, yeah. So it's probably gonna have that same vibe, yeah, where it's wrapping things up and it's like talking about the aftermath and setting up what could happen next season. So I'm excited to. And again, I'm the same. I love watching stuff where people sit down in rooms and talk, especially this show. So I'm all for it. And I honestly need an emotional break after this week anyway.
Right. It's emotional. So how much time do you have, by the way?
I can do like maybe 15 more minutes.
15 more minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
So we might as well just get to this. Let's see here. Day sees the vault from the city, wants to go there. And him and Roselle go into the vault while the jets are being scrambled. We got the Pulson people, couple. He is flying now. He's one of their best, pilots.
Yeah. He seems like he's pretty damn good. He made me mad.
Let's see here. Sorry, I'm just gonna.
No, you're good.
This is going to be the end of Terminus.
The end of Terminus. Oh, god damn.
Crazy.
Yeah, I really liked the scene where Day is talking to Harry in the vault. It's always an interesting conversation between the two of them, and Demerzel being added in the mix is just like just another extra cherry of great dialogue.
This was so great. So yeah, and there's some like good one-liners here. Oh.
Assassins, I know how the Cleons end and when.
Of course you do.
The fall is not a lie.
Us for war. That's the darkness.
This is the line right here.
Yeah, I
Just
like this
I
one. Yeah.
love it.
Convince me.
You're here. You're living in it. And that means Empire is afraid.
You're projecting.
I am a hologram.
He's in his bag. He's in his
Oh
bag.
man, yeah. Here he got jokes.
But he then offers them like, you know what? Well, I got this. Let me give it to Demerzel. Let me give you the Prime Radiant. And he seems like this here he knows that Demerzel is in charge.
Yeah,
He's almost like just treating Day as an annoyance for like, okay, the grown-ups are talking here,
right,
my guy.
Yeah, when it gets to a precipice in a lot of parts of the conversation, like where he wants to make a point, he defers to Demerzel. He's like, "Listen, could you tell this guy?"
Right? Yeah,
yeah. It's especially when he makes his ultimatum at the end. I thought that was very telling.
Calm your son
It's not
down.
the time for tea leaves. You must have something more with which to bargain. Otherwise, you would have tried to kill us.
You would have just uncorked it. Because
Uncorked another one, he gets
Yeah, he gets on.
I died for them.
gets Superman.
And I will not have my life's work snuffed out by any man's pride.
Okay. Let's see here, right here.
Demerzel, you said you didn't come here for tea leaves. What if I
Is this
inflection
okay?
points
Hold
and
on.
any man's pride? Demerzel, you said you didn't come here for tea leaves. What if I offered you a crystal ball instead?
Okay, yeah, he offers that to Demerzel. That is the Prime Radiant. Yep.
Contained within it is the...
I'm trying to figure out.
She still wouldn't be able to read it, right?
No, she should be.
Well, I guess yes, she should be. Yeah,
she should be able to.
What's his name? Dave probably wouldn't because he's a dum.
He's a dum. I'm trying to figure out because it's his face where he goes, where he's.
Was when Day asked him to like renounce psychohistory or whatever. Yeah, that happens like right before he leaves. I can't remember what exactly he says, but yeah, that was a really cool moment because as soon as Day like asks him to renounce psychohistory, he's like, yeah, I won't destroy. I'm not gonna do what I do if you just say psychohistory is bullshit. And you see it in Harry's face, is like, fuck. It's like, well, I guess this planet's doomed.
Right. Yeah, and I was like, damn. Yeah.
And then he just turns to Demerzel right after that. He doesn't even answer his question really. He just turns to Demerzel and says some cold shit.
This is the one thing that I wanted to bring up because this line was super cold right here.
Accounted for me.
I've met outliers. You're not one of them.
That was his face right there.
Yeah.
Was
them. You never accounted for me.
I've met outliers.
He is like,
yeah, he is hurt.
He is so hurt. Hey, Strike F. She's a super chat GPT AI girlfriend. He can read it. LOL. Yeah, she can definitely read it. Yeah, she could definitely read it. Thanks for commenting.
Very good point.
And also give us your thoughts about this episode, Strike F. We would definitely like to know if you were just as surprised as we were when we came to the end of this thing. There's some great slams against Day in this. If you think he's being a little bitch boy, let us know.
Yeah. Demi gets some great slams at the end.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna actually just cut to that. Invictus, dude is able to blow it up or whatever, and then they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna blow this thing up." We already talked about that. And then while they are going, they this is another good slam right here. Yesterday, they
yeah,
Homer
all he
calls him
says is yesterday.
Sure, Gav, you're saying not surprised that he blew up the planet. Dim did say you always choose this path in season 1. Right.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Season 1, episode 1.
Yeah.
Like, how often do I choose this?
You always choose this path.
This
You're
sperm
kind of
scene
a
is
dick.
so fucked up. Now, yesterday,
Temporary Emperor.
So this guy is just getting slammed. I just love the dichotomy of him saying, I mean, just him just getting slammed.
Yeah.
He thinks he's an outlier. He thinks he's like this person that's going to bring change. But no, dude, you are just fucking nothing. You're nothing. You're a loser. So you get it from Selden. You get this Hober like quippy ass.
Yeah.
Yesterday,
which has got to sting because like Hober is like really nothing. Like he's not even Harry Selden. Like he's just a guy.
Yeah. So it's just like from all fronts, he's just getting trashed on in like the course of like 10 minutes, and I just love it.
So good.
And but this is the nail in the coffin for
Lead it
slams.
into another matter. At home.
This is a moment.
No. It is yours.
Get him.
I don't understand.
Right here. Let's see here.
I am sometimes called away to other matters, as I am now. It happened often during your formative years, as I was trying to stitch up the fraying ends of empire.
The fraying ends of empire.
So I'm assuming she means when the genetic line was tainted or whatever.
Right. Yeah. Trying to. Yeah. And yeah, probably when they had to uncork the other Dawn and figured out that plan.
Right.
Yeah, this is worse than him running and screaming.
Yeah. He's probably
are you
more
talking
hurt
about
by
in
this
episode 8 where they when Becky almost got him?
Right, I'm assuming yes.
When Becky almost got him last episode.
Yeah, to have such hubris to like walk into the vaults and take off his like aura and all this shit. He gets owned pretty always.
Yeah. Right. But yeah, this is the slam.
You grew up with an uncertainty in mind and morals. I hoped initiating physical intimacy with you would give me the influence to correct your shortcomings. That failed. I apologize to you for what you have become.
Oh my
Jesus Christ.
Can
Damn. Chill, baby. I thought it was in the rules that you couldn't hurt me. You're not allowed to hurt me.
So I got feelings, and you just hurt damn near every one of them.
You're going off program.
Yeah, like that was some cold shit. Can you imagine your mom saying some shit like that to you?
Oh my god!
I'm sorry for what you've become.
She takes responsibility for it too.
Yeah,
and I was just like, that is even worse.
Yeah. Everything
like this is my fault.
So hurtful.
That's your piece of shit. He definitely has mommy issues now.
Oh,
absolutely. Right here.
I have become the day who saw that change was needed, who made the change happen, who set out to father a new line. What have I become? I am a complete man.
No, you're a sperm led by its waving flagellum, mistaking its random motion for complexity. No.
Dude, his reaction faces this entire episode. It's so good. I love it.
Good.
Oh my god. I love to see it.
I think like all of his
Steven-
reactions of like sadness and disgust and like betrayal or whatever you want to call it on his face really helps put the nail on the last moment when he's very happy about something he really shouldn't be. But yeah, I guess we should talk about this moment.
Yeah, I wanted to talk to you about all of this stuff because this is like the last thing where I was like, yes, okay, so that is how they are going to call this whole thing off. We are so good. All right, baby. Woo! Yeah. Terminus is saved because of love.
Right? The power of love.
Yes.
Yeah, when I was watching this scene, I was watching it with my brother, and he was like, yo, this is gonna be, it's like, this is after we find out the dude's alive, after he crashes, and Invictus isn't shot down yet, and he's like, oh man, yeah, this is, I figured this would happen, low stakes, everything's gonna turn out fine. It's like, no, turns out Invictus and that guy and this planet are all fucked.
Gone. Dunzo. But like how it was set up, they knew that we would be like looking for like every which way. I was even thinking like, okay, wait, the Gal Pals are in the past, right?
Yeah.
Like, their storyline is happening, so they could like maybe show up and do something.
Right. Yeah, I was expecting Deus Ex Gal Pals to come through.
Right here.
Do you read?
And he's just like so happy because he's not realizing that like he thought like he drifted off into space somewhere.
Yeah.
He's not realizing that he's on the surface.
Oh, fuck. Hey,
Glenn.
Hey, buddy.
Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, that's like the I forgot to get groceries on the way home
Right.
voice.
Yeah.
Hey, so I got something to
Tell me. Deus commanded me to bring the Invictus down on the planet. Ah, there it is.
And I thought this was very interesting because remember they were reading that book, like the Hindu book.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what is the message of like why are they showing us this, right? And I thought this was like actually very sweet too.
Yeah.
The warrior asks the god for advice. And then the god says, the only way you can conquer me is through love. And there I am gladly conquered.
I was like, oh, that's a fucking sweet and touching moment right there.
Oh, it's really beautiful.
And they give the order.
Yeah. And then dude was
is...
like, fuck, I was hoping that story was supposed to make you choose the other thing.
Right.
I couldn't stop it. I'm so sorry.
Take a shot with me. And it just looks great. Polly planting his flag that he's held on to since he was a kid. Further than anybody else has planted a flag. That looks incredible. Roselle, she seems to be very I don't know if it's like just disappointed.
Yeah.
Very disappointed. And then it ends with this shot of Day.
The only person in the galaxy who is smiling right now.
Yeah.
Like, it's so sickening, his expression, and it makes all the sense in the world for his character. And it makes me hate this character so much, and then also reminds me how much I love this actor, because he's just really been nailing the despicable nature of this character this whole series, and this is a high point, writing and acting all the way around.
It's so good. It's so good. Oh shit. Well, that's the way the cookie crumbles. So we just gotta take it down.